the tutoring stuck to me. I had the capacity for bearing, you see. I was a rarity round these parts, an expensive rarity. Oh, we knew we'd never again get a chance at the likes of me.
And curiously, the incidence of Mongoloidism in Mongolia is slightly less than the global average.
Ah! A maniac attack! Oh, it's like a wild dog! And for such a trifling matter, a little minor bribery. But apparently, Lord Chief Justice Winthrop Allingham had put the few abusers above himself into jack. And then he went to town and painted it red with me. Oh, when he was done with his fists, he stripped me naked and threw me into the gutter. And left me there to be used as any passing drug desired. Well, I cried out to the other pros to help, but they all laughed at me. I'll be you, bitch. Serves you right with your airs and your graces. And then, whatever strength was left in me faded, and I drifted from awareness.
And having traversed half the globe, I happened to make the acquaintance of a rather famous physician, Dr. Cyrus Shank, who, impressed with the nimbleness of my mind and my fascination with anatomy, offered me the opportunity to study with him at the Institute. 3 years I spent in his company, and I have to say they were amongst the most intellectually stimulating times I've ever spent. Nuttier than a bag of scribbles, kept a pet rat in his trousers, but his ideas, much like his hygiene, were breathtaking. I took from him my understanding of race, lineage, and the importance of bloodlines. He was, of course, a tad of an extremist, but even his darkest acts were performed on the deformed, and so no real person suffered for it.
I was taken in by a kindly priest. He had some affiliation with the Salvations. Oh, he always had the good grace to weep copious tears whenever he felt compelled to visit me, deep in the night.
The then Commodore to East London, jealous of my abilities, tended to relegate me to the less edifying aspects of our profession, until he suffered the unfortunate accident. And I found myself, by proxy, occupying my present position. And it did occupy me utterly to the exclusion of all other physiological necessities. Almost all. For me, the use of the occasional strumpet of an evening tended to suffice. I am a practical creature, and though the finer aspects of my nature rebel against their coarse hollows, the impulses of meat and juice impair men to distraction. So I rid myself of them, put it in its rightful place, meat into meat, juice into juice.
It was shortly after that I encountered Ethan. I swore this would be my last ever trick. It was at the first International Congress of Eugenics. I found myself there, contemplating the room, dressed in my new finery, affecting the graces of a highborn.
Sterilization! I believe it is the one true hope of our race. For if we can effectively prohibit the maltardis from procreating, then we can cleanse the base matter of our entire being and flush, if you will, the detritus away. How may this be achieved? Organization! I propose some kind of grouped housing, camps, if you will, where we can concentrate the unfortunate misbegotten, which will serve to give them a sense of society, for we must be kind friends.
If I were to incline my life away from the grubby and into the plentiful, then what better place to begin than this room full of overfed elitists? And I chose Coleridge. And I chose well.
Have you ever been thumped in the heart by the sight of a face such that, for a few brief moments, the very act of breathing has denied you an attack of beauty, friend? That is what occurred. Louise, such a pretty name. I swore I would have her. The name of Coleridge required an heir, and she was made of refinement and breeding, and in her presence I could feel the leavings of my old self evaporate. Of that you infused me. She and I would make a heavy brew. Our children would be mighty. At first glance, her smile engorged me so I had to correct my intonation, if you follow.
And the hook embedded, I reeled him in slow and skilled, like a well-sorted angler.
And so I married her. Placed jewels to her neck, the finest foods and wines to her palate, and in return she provided meat for my starving soul.
Ugly bitch!
These bagatelles, they disgust me.
Indeed.
Spreading themselves for every passing ram to what for coin.
Perhaps they lack choice.
There is always choice.
Well, let us not think on it.
My deepest delight was the discovery that, though inexperienced and bordering on the shy at times, in full boudoir abandon, she shocked me with her licentiousness.
You know I'll have to punish you for this transgression.
Oh no, mistress, do not punish me.
I will contemplate the matter. And while I am so engaged, bring me the knob, Hammer.
Please, mistress.
I have spoken, worm. Do it, or you will be sorry.
Yes, mistress. Louise betimes would bring groceries to our twists.
Carrot or parsnip? You always choose the parsnip.
Oh! Yes, my dear keeper!
Though I did find it somewhat wearing on the wrist.
Louise was fascinated with the day-to-day business of my profession. Once, I even allowed her to attend an autopsy. She showed no little spirit when faced with the grim and bloody business we all are beneath our skins.
It is late, my dear. Shall we? Oh!
Might we linger a minute?
My dear. And he was quite in haste about it. And so insistent. I thought I would explode at the ecstasy of it.
The location, the dead meat surrounding us, their eyes covered with pennies. I've often wondered what it must be like to watch the light die out in another's eyes. At that moment when the soul stares in the face of its own extinguishment, have you ever wondered what that must be like?
And a cold descended upon me. I was like the Arctic, the Antarctic, and the North Sea all at once.
Even so! What? Mr. Coleridge? What is it? If I'm quite swamped at the minute.
I'm supposed to deliver these, sir.